My next guy is going to be Amen Thompson. And I don't even totally know what an Amen Thompson breakout looks like, to be completely transparent. I'm not sure. All I know is I fucking watched that dude play in preseason and I love it. Like, they're just letting him loose. They're just going, be an athlete.
As
go
they
be
should.
the most athletic player on the court. Go create transition opportunities. Go be the best defender on the court. Go be like everything that you know how to be, just instinctually. Use your quick twitch, use your basketball sense, and just go wreak havoc. And I've loved watching it. I've loved watching every second I've seen him play in the preseason. And look, again, this is one of those things where, like, we saw this late in the year from Amen.
Yeah.
They weaponized him as like a wing. They weaponized him almost at like the 5 at times, which was really fun, where they play him and like Jabari next to each other in the front court and just say, hey, Amen, go rebound, go crash the glass, go do your thing. It was so fantastic. It was so much fun. It was so much fun to watch Amen Thompson late in the year last year. Apparently he said that he's like 6'8" now, which is really fun. I completely buy him just like cutting and crashing and playing defense everywhere. He is so. I've seen people bring up like VJ Edgecombe is like a 1% athlete, or somebody else, people like that are 1% athletes. Watch VJ and then watch Amen.
Yeah.
Amen is the 1% athlete. I think VJ is like an incredible athlete. You might be able to convince me that VJ is a top 1%, just like vertical pop leaping, athlete, right? But Amen is quick twitch every single spot on the court. And I can't even maintain how much I've loved it. And here's the other thing about Amen Thompson too. I think that he is so smart. I've wondered how the Şengün Amen thing is going to work long term. I'm not as worried about it now because they're a lot more comfortable, it seems like, playing Şengün out high a little bit and letting Amen just like cut back door. And then on top of it, you've got Amen and Reed Shepherd, which, I mean, if that's your backcourt off the bench this year, with Amen playing like 30 minutes and just, being everywhere. I mean, can you think of a more complementary duo in the backcourt, like off the bench, let's say, like among young players in the league, right? Of Reed Shepherd, slicing and dicing in ball screens and being this incredibly skilled shooter and having an incredible amount of feel, and Amen Thompson just flying around everywhere and creating transition opportunities and doing everything like that. Like, I don't know. Like, the more I watch Amen, the more I think that, like, yes, teams will leave him open as a shooter, but you run the risk of him getting downhill in a hurry if you don't close out on him under control, which is going to be really, really hard. It's going to be really, really hard.
And I think Amen is a quick enough decision maker and processor that he can do, like, I always bring up Draymond. I'm sure there's a better example now, but when teams didn't guard Draymond, what did he do? He caught and dribbled right into a DHO. So you know what? You don't want to guard Amen? Then I'm going to throw Amen the ball at the top of the key, and I'm going to tell him to dribble right at Reed Shepherd on the wing and then just drop it off and let Reed come off. And there's nobody there to switch or hard hedge or get a hand up. And Amen is big enough, not obviously as big as Draymond, but he's big enough to get a good screen. Listen, Amen is one of the reasons I want to bring up this name and see what your thoughts. I had a guy that I just kind of believe in, and this is the one I was talking about where he just wasn't going to get the opportunity. So obviously it was a Houston Rocket, but I was like, Amen rebounds all the time. So I don't know if this guy can take a jump in his rebounding, and Reed's going to take some more shots, and Tari's coming back. I had a hard time picking a Rocket just because of that. Like, what are the opportunities? But this, as you have mentioned, a talent play. Sam, how many guys can defend the way Amen can, on and off the ball, can rake down rebounds the way he can, and then can grab and go in true grab and go fashion, and you really trust him to do that? It's just such a versatile skill set. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch this year, and I can't wait to see how the Rockets kind of utilize him, because you can turn on a game and see him play with the ball in his hands, cut off the ball, go play in the dunker, transition, pick and roll, catch lobs, short roll, and make the reads. There's just a lot of versatility with that player.
He just does literally everything on the court except shoot.
Except shoot.
Every single thing except for shooting. Last year, in his last 28 games, he started 18 of those games. 12.4 points, 8.1 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.4 steals, 0.9 blocks, with a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, shooting 55% from the field as a rookie. Like, maybe those are the numbers. Like, maybe those are like pretty close to what he's doing, right? It could be something like that. It could be something like, okay, maybe he averages like 14, 9, and 3, and again shoots pretty similar percentages. But man, he is the defense is like really key for me too. He just flies everywhere on defense. He flies all across the court and makes life like so miserable, it feels like, just through his sheer presence and ability to cover ground. He's so smart. I am extremely in on Amen Thompson as being, and I am like, Mr. You need shooters out there. You need like 5-out spacing. You need all this. But I mean, this dude is just so special as an athlete. And it's the intersection of athlete and feel for the game and processing ability. It's not just one or the other. It's that he combines them both. He is, for me, I would say one of the 3 best athletes in the NBA. I would say it's him.
Sure.
I would say it's Ant, and I would say it's Ja Morant. Those are the 3 best like functional athletes across the court in the NBA to me. And I mean, you could make a case that he's number 1 out of those groups. He's just not quite as skilled as those 2 at this point.
He can't show it off as often because his ball skill isn't as good as those guys, and that probably holds back some of it in what he can show in traffic the way those 2 can. But yeah.
Right. So look, I think Amen is just an absolute, he's going to have an incredible year to me.
I was going to say Jabari Smith Jr. because like I'm just a Jabari Smith Jr. fan. And then I talked myself out of it. And it's funny. How many of these things have we done where the goal was not to talk about the Houston Rockets? We didn't go in saying, hey, our motivation here is to talk about but we do a 24 under 24. We do a breakout candidate, and we find ourselves talking about multiple Houston Rocket players every single time.
They are one of the most fun teams in the league to me.
Oh, no question.
Like it's like I said, I would watch their first 10 games of the year this year. I wasn't joking. Like I'm going to, because I just enjoy watching that team play, because there are just so many interesting players in that group and trying to figure out how they're all going to make it work. Like this is the season where they have to figure out how to make it work. And that's what's going to be really, really interesting.